Can I be honest with you for a second? There was a point in my life where I genuinely believed I had missed my window, like the door had closed and just, I didn't make things on time. I was not on time. I was late. Maybe you know that feeling. I don't know. You look up one day and think, how did I get here? And more importantly, is it too late to go somewhere different? I'm here today to tell you that it is not too late. And I'm not just saying that to make you feel good. I'm not just saying that to make you happy. But by the end of this video, you are going to feel something shift inside of you. Stay with me. Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tega and this is a space for women who are done playing small and ready to live fully. No apologies, no shrinking and no settling. If nobody has told you lately, I am glad that you are here and I am glad that you are still fighting for yourself. Please make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell because we talk about real things here, things that matter, things that can actually change your life. Now let's get into it. First thing I want to address is the idea of being late. Late. Compared to what? Compared to who? We have been fed this timeline our whole life. Graduate by this age, be married by this age, have kids by this age, career should be figured out by this age. And if you didn't hit those markers on schedules, society kind of makes you feel like you are failed, like you are behind, like you missed the bus and now you are just standing and watching everyone else ride along. But here's what I've come to understand over the years. That timeline was never yours to begin with. It was handed to you by your parents, by your culture, by comparison. And you have been carrying it along like it's the law when really it was just someone else's opinion about how your life is supposed to look. I hope you are following. And I need you to hear this clearly. You do not have to keep following a map that someone else has drawn for your journey. Some of the most powerful reinventions I have ever witnessed and personally experienced happened after 40, after 50, after 60, and even after 70. Guess what? Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Julia Child didn't publish her first cookbook until she was 49. Toni Morrison didn't write her first novel until she was 39. And she went on to win a Nobel Prize. These women didn't get the memo that they were supposed to be done. And neither should you. You are not late. You are right on time. The lies we've been told about age, that's the next thing. Can we talk about some of our things we've been told, directly or indirectly, about getting older? That we become invisible, that our value reduces, especially as women, especially as African women, that opportunity is for the young, that our bodies, our minds, our relevance all starts going downhill at a certain point. I want to call that exactly what it is. It is a lie and it has kept women like us small for too long. Now, I'm not going to pretend that getting older doesn't come with its challenges because it actually does. We've talked about that on this channel. The physical challenges are real. The emotional shifts are real. The way the world sometimes looks at us, that is real too. But here's the other side of the coin that nobody is talking about. Are you ready? After 40, you stop caring about things that used to paralyze you. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never built for you. You're apologizing for taking room. You know who you are in a way that your younger self never did. And that self-knowledge, that clarity, that is one of the most powerful assets that a woman can have. The world might try to tell you that your time is up, but the truth is, you are now just stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The third thing we're going to talk about is your experience and how that is your advantage. Here's something that nobody tells you when you are younger. Everything you've been through, hard seasons, heartbreaks, the disappointments, the detours, the times you had to start over when you didn't want to. That is not time wasted. That is wisdom, that is armor, that is your fuel. A 25-year-old starting fresh doesn't have what you have. They don't have your discernment. They haven't learned how to read a room or how to spot a red flag from a mile away, how to pick themselves up after a real fall. They don't know who they are yet the way you are beginning to. You come with something that they cannot buy and cannot fake, and that is lived experience. Every scar you carry is actually a credential. Every storm you survived is proof that you can handle what is coming. So the next time your mind tries to tell you that your age is a disadvantage, I want you to flip the script. Your age is your resume, and darling, it is impressive. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is what starting over actually looks like. Now, I want to be real with you because I don't believe in giving people false hope wrapped in pretty words. That's not what we're trying to do in this community. Starting over is not going to feel glamorous at first. It's going to feel uncomfortable, maybe messy. It might feel embarrassing. You might feel like people are watching and are judging. You might feel like you should have figured this out already. And some days you are going to wake up and wonder if you made the right decision. That's all completely normal. That discomfort is not a sign that you have made a mistake. That discomfort is a sign that you are growing. And growth has never once felt comfortable. Starting over might look like going back to school in your 40s or in your 50s. It might look like sitting in a class with people that are half your age and doing it anyway. It might look like living a marriage or a relationship that has slowly been draining the life out of you, even though it's scary and even though people won't understand. It might look like finally launching that business you've been talking about since 2019, building that website, making the content, putting yourself out there even when your hands are shaking. It might look like moving to a new city, changing careers completely. It might look like going to therapy for the first time, cutting off relationships that no longer serve you, learning a new skill, picking up a passion you abandoned decades ago. Or it might just look like deciding quietly, privately, on an ordinary Tuesday that you deserve more than what you've been accepting. That decision alone, that is a start, and that is enough to begin. The real reason we stay stuck, and it's probably not what you think. It's not your age. That's not why you're stuck. It's not your bank account. It's not your circumstance. It's not your past. Let me shock you. It is fear. Dressed up in the very convincing costume of logic and reason and analyzing. Because fear is smart. Fear doesn't show up and say, I am scared. Fear shows up and says, be realistic. Fear says, you are too old for this. Fear says, what will people think? Fear says, you don't have energy for this anymore. Fear says, what if you try and you fail? And here's the sneaky part. Fear isn't always wrong. Sometimes those things are real concerns worth thinking through. But more often than not, fear is not just trying to keep you safe by keeping you still and staying still. It has its own cost, a cost we don't always count. So let me ask you something. What if it works? What if you take that leap and it actually works? What if 5 years from now you look back and the thing you were most terrified to start was the very thing that set you free? The risk of trying is real. I won't pretend that it is not, but the cost of never trying, that is what your future self will sit with. That is the regret that quietly grows. And I don't want that for you. I don't think you want that for yourself either. So we're not just going to talk about the beauty of starting over and not being stuck. We're going to talk about practical steps. Okay? So let's get practical. Because I don't want to just inspire you. I want to actually help you move. Step 1. Get clear on what you actually want. Not what your mother wants, not what looks good on paper, not what you thought you wanted at 25. What do you want right now in this season of your life? Sit with that question. Write it down. Be honest, even if the answer surprises you. Step 2. Start smaller than you think you should. We tend to wait until we're ready to make this big dramatic move, but readiness is a myth. You start and then you get ready. So what is one small thing that you can do this week, not this year, this week, that moves you one step closer to what you want to be? Step 3, tell someone. There's something powerful about saying your dream out loud to somebody that you trust, not just anybody, someone you trust. It makes it real, it creates accountability. Find one person and tell them what you are working towards. Step 4, protect your energy. Starting over takes energy, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. That means paying attention to what and who is draining you. It might be time to have some honest conversations and make some adjustments. Step 5, give yourself grace on the hard days. Days when you feel like you are going backwards. Days when you wonder why you even started. On those days, I want you to come back to this video. If you need to, come back to this community and remind yourself, this is part of the process. You are still in it. And that means you have not quit. Personal word just for you before I go. I don't know exactly where you are when you're watching this. Maybe you are doing okay on the surface, but you know deep down that there is more for you. Maybe you are in a really hard season right now and need someone to remind you that it is not over. Maybe you have been sitting on a dream for so long that it's starting to feel like it belongs to someone else. It does not. It still has your name on it. And the fact that you clicked on this video, that you watched this far, that you are still here, still searching, that tells me something about you. You have not given up on yourself, even when it felt like you had. Even when life made it hard to keep going, you are still believing that something better is possible. So here is your permission, if you need it. Permission to begin again. Permission to want more. Permission to take up space. Permission to be a woman in your 40s or 50s or beyond who is just getting started. Because it's not too late. If this video spoke to you, I want you to do 2 things right now. First, drop a comment below and tell me one thing you are choosing to start over. One thing. Write it down in the comments and make it real. I read every single comment and I am genuinely rooting for you. 2, share this with a woman in your life who needs to hear this message. You never know who is sitting at home feeling like it's too late. Be the person who reminds her that it isn't. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. It genuinely means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself.